Finish him.
Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. There's a lot of talk about Gervonta Davis facing off against Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz wants the fight to take place at 130. He refuses to go up any higher than that. Now, Gervonta Davis has had trouble in the past making weight. Most recently, he was supposed to be fighting Gamboa, Yuriorkis Gamboa, at 135. And if I'm not mistaken, there were some issues with the weigh-in. And on fight night, he was having trouble putting Gamboa away. I mean, is it because Gamboa was a veteran? Who knows? I don't know why he was having trouble putting Gamboa away. All I know is that Gamboa, his leg exploded in the fight, and he was trying to quit. Gamboa tried to quit in that fight, but the referee would not allow him to quit. Go back and look at the fight. I could have sworn. I think it was Jack Reese, right? I think it may have been Jack Reese who was the referee. Dude, he asked him, plain and simple, can you continue? He said it in Spanish or some shit, right? Are you ready to continue? He shook his head, and Jack Reese was like, nah, you got to keep on going. Yo, I was dying when I saw that. But look, you got to go back and watch that fight. And the moment when Gamboa, his ankle explodes, check that out. Now back to Leo Santa Cruz. Now, it seems like Leo Santa Cruz is trying to drain Gervonta Davis, but what he doesn't understand is it's not going to work because, well, Tank's still young, man. Will it be hard for him to lose that extra 5 pounds? Probably. You know, if I were Tank, I'd be focused now because this is a really big payday for him. If he's focusing right now, and I could have sworn, I follow him on I follow him on Snapchat, and it looked like he had injured himself or something happened when he was sparring last week. Fact check this for me if you follow him. It seemed like something happened to him, but he can still control what goes into his mouth, right? Because that's the biggest issue, him not being able to make weight. And with his height, his stature, he doesn't want to get caught up and moved on 140. I mean, 135 is already a tough enough division for him. You know, it's a tough division to be in. So getting down to 130, facing Leo Santa Cruz, who's overrated, quite overrated. In fact, in his last fight, he was getting that work, but he slipped away with a win. But even if Tank is 40% of what he typically is, he's going to knock Leo Santa Cruz out. And you know what? I'll bet some money on this one. Gervonta Davis will knock out Leo Santa Cruz because he's going to hurt him. Tank is going to blow up on. They better put a hydration clause in that contract. You know, who's the A side in the situation? Man, that's a tough one. I suppose Tank is the A side because of who's backing him, but Leo got a lot of. He's had some decent fights. He's got some decent names under his belt. You know, even though I feel like Tank would probably just blow through Carl Frampton. No disrespect to him. And Abner Mares, Abner Mares was about to get that work too. But I think he got sick and had to pull out of the fight. Fact check that for me as well, guys. I'm going based off of memory here. But I think Abner Mares and Tank were looking to hold it. No, was it? Maybe even Abner Mares got sick before he was going to fight Leo Santa Cruz. I can't remember. But either way, Gervonta Tank Davis will knock the living shit out of Abner Mares. But the target, boop, boop, is set on Leo Santa Cruz. And there's nothing he can do. He don't even fight. Like, he looks tall, but he's short as hell. He's short as hell on TV. No, he looks tall on TV, but he's short as hell in real life. Him and Keith Thurman like the same height. And Keith Thurman's a midget. I've seen him in person. Met the guy. So, Tank's a midget too. So I guess it all equals out, right? Tank's gonna knock out Leo Santa Cruz. There's no need to even discuss, the pros and cons of this fighter's ability versus that fighter's ability and this guy's shortcomings. And, listen, it's very clear what's going to happen to Leo Santa Cruz. It's very clear what he's trying to do here. He's looking to cash himself out. Al Heyman's been good to him. It's time to cash out. We sick of watching you, walk into the middle of the ring, twitching your right hand, because that really annoys me. When I see you twitching your wrist, you know, it's stupid. Just like Pacquiao, always picking up his pants. Like, get some pants that fit, bro. Stop twitching your wrist. You need to get a cortisol shot in that or something? What's wrong with your wrist? Why you keep twitching it in a fight? And why can't you fight on the outside? Why can't you box on the outside? Because seemingly, you look like you have a height and reach advantage over some of these other little guys. But you're all little guys. But he wants to fight on the inside. Leo Santa Cruz like to mix it up. Well, you mix it up with Tank. You're going to get caught on the jaw. And you're going to go to sleep. And you're going to wake up. And it's going to be the year 2012. And they're going to be asking you to fight Rigondeaux. Remember that? Remember you didn't want to fight Rigondeaux? Oh, no, I don't want to fight Rigondeaux. It's not going to be a good fight. Yeah, because you beat your ass too. Right? Hitman Boxing. Drop a comment. Like the video. Subscribe. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Whenever this pandemic is over with, I'm sure it'll be on pay-per-view. Is it a pay-per-view caliber fight? Is Tank versus Vasily Lomachenko a pay-per-view caliber fight? If you can answer yes to the latter, then you know what we're talking about when it comes to Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis. It's just the name. You know, again, Floyd is following that. You know, he likes to fight guys who have a whole country backing him. Leo Santa Cruz, I believe, is Mexican. So he's putting two and two together. You got a black fighter versus a Hispanic fighter. Always tends to do well, typically. But neither of these guys have been on pay-per-view before. I don't think, no, Leo Santa Cruz he's never showcased a pay-per-view. He's never been a main event. Neither has Tank. Tank's been on pay-per-view, but obviously on the undercard. And I see they're trying to work him up to being a huge star. But the problem is you're going to have to feed him tougher competition. He can't continue to fight people like this, like Leo Santa Cruz. You know, he can't continue to fight these guys. These guys don't have names. Like Gamboa, like, he's a name, but he's washed. And you couldn't even finish him. So what happens when you go to fight? Who's in your weight class? The Shakur Stevensons, the Devin Haneys, Lomachenko, that's who people really want you to fight. But Lomachenko running from, what's the dude's name? He's running from somebody right now. I can't think of his name. I'm doing this on the fly. You're going to have to face some of those guys, Tank. You know, between 130 and 135, because you don't want to get caught at 140. That's not a good idea. It's not a good idea for you. So stick to the people in your division. And you know what? Tevin Farmer was the fight you should have took. But he ended up losing his belt. This is what I don't get, the sense of urgency for these guys. That was a big fight. Tevin Farmer is not necessarily this amazing fighter that would have given Tank a ton. Well, he may have given him a little trouble early on. But all I'm saying is that fight, that was a big fight for you. That would have been a unification bout. But then this guy goes and loses his belt. I mean, you know, Tevin Farmer lose all the time. You know, he's fighting 8 times a year. So he was bound to lose once in a year, right, on the zone. But y'all talking about you want to go to the zone. You should have went over there, took that short. No, it's not even short money. You should have went over there, took his money, knocked him out, and that would have been it. That's what we wanted to see. That's all we wanted to see is you beat the living shit out of Tank Farmer or Tevin Campbell, whatever his name is, Tevin Farmer. From Philly. You know, a lot of people will be like, oh, Tevin Farmer would have beat Tank. Yeah, he's too fast, too elusive. No, he's not. All right? He's not. Was he too fast and elusive in his last fight when he lost his belt? Was he? No, he wasn't. He lost. Now he's sitting at home with no belt and probably no haircut. Hitman Boxing. Drop a comment, like the video, subscribe. Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz. Who do you have winning that fight? How do you have it playing out? I don't see Leo Santa Cruz beating Tank Davis. Ever. I'm out.